Have Aligar Lingappa, Assistant Professor in Physics, Government Postgrad College, Siruguppa. Today's my chapter is Mechanical Properties of Materials. So now we are going to discuss about the concept so-called fraction. So then, what are the mechanical properties of materials? Why we needed to study all those things? So, to finalize the material for an engineering product or applications, it is important to understand the mechanical properties of the material. The mechanical properties of a material are those which affect the mechanical strength and ability of a material to be molded in suitable shape. So some of the mechanical properties we need for the selection of materials for an engineering product or applications given in the next slide. So look here. So these are some of the mechanical properties, say strength, toughness, hardness, fraction, brittleness, malleability, ductility, creep and slip, resilience, fatigue. So these are some of the I think mechanical properties we must need for the selection of, that means for the engineering designing, for engineering product, for the selection of materials for various purpose. So then now today we will discuss about the concept so-called fraction in metals or materials. So separation of a solid into two or more parts under the application of load or stress is called fracture. So that means the definition of fracture means the separation of a solid into two or more parts under application of load or stress is called a fracture. Depending on the type of load, fracture may be defined by tensile fracture, compressive fracture, shear fracture, fatigue fracture, creep fracture, cleavage fracture. So these are the different types of fractures which occur in the material in the various fields under the stress or load. So the process of fracture basically involves the following phenomenon: crack initiation and crack propagation. So this is the very important two processes which occur in the process of fracture. So crack initiation and then the crack propagation. However, these fractures are mainly characterized by either a ductile fracture or a brittle fracture. Here, ductile fracture and brittle fracture, they are the two types of fractures which occur in the materials. Then what is a ductile fracture? What is a brittle fracture? What are the examples for ductile fracture? Then what are the examples for a brittle fracture? So now we will discuss about a ductile fracture. Here, ductile fracture means a fracture of materials with a large plastic deformation before fracture. So fracture of soft steel and other soft metals or materials like a rubber and plastics is a ductile fracture. So toughness is the capacity of material to withstand generation and spreading of cracks in the materials. So ductile fracture means the fracture of material with a large plastic deformation. So the material which, if there shows large plastic deformation, then what about the fracture which occur in those materials known as ductile fractures? So fracture of soft steel and other soft metals, then the fracture which occur in the rubber and plastic is ductile fracture. Toughness is the capacity of a material to withstand generation and spreading of cracks. So here the diagram we are given, that means the fracture which occur in the material. So like soft metals. In a ductile fracture, there is absorption of massive amount of energy and a slower propagation before the fracture occurs as compared to a brittle fracture. So in a ductile fracture, there is an absorption of massive amounts of energy and a slower propagation before the fracture occurs as compared to a brittle fracture. So all the fracture process involve two steps: crack formation and crack propagation, which are responses to imposed stress. Then the rate of fracture is highly dependent on the mechanics of the crack propagation. Cracks that occur in ductile materials are said to be stable, meaning they are able to resist extension without any increase in stress. So the rate of fracture is highly dependent on the mechanics of the crack propagation. So the rate of fracture is more in case of the rate of crack propagation is more. So usually the cracks that occur in ductile materials are said to be stable because there is no crack propagation. That means they are able to resist extension without any increase in stress. So however, in a brittle materials, cracks are unstable, which means that the crack propagation once started continuous spontaneously without an increase in stress level. So where in case of ductile material, where the crack propagation is less, but in case of brittle materials, the propagation which occur continuously, that means spontaneously without an increase in stress level. Then by understanding ductile fractures, engineers are able to develop more dependable and safer industrial products and materials. So by understanding the ductile fractures, engineers they are able to develop more dependable and safer industrial products. That means they are used in the engineering, designing. For example, ductile is a desirable property in high temperature and high pressure applications in reactor plants due to the added stresses on the metals. High ductility in these applications helps to greatly reduce the possibility of a sudden brittle fracture. So usually the study of fracture of the materials, it helps to design the different parts of the different machines. So ductility is a desirable property in high temperature and high pressure applications in reactor plants due to the added stresses on the metals. High ductility in these applications helps to greatly reduce the possibility of a sudden brittle fracture. So under the view of microscope, the surfaces of materials which are ductile fractures appear irregular and rough and exhibit some dimpling, but in almost all design situations, materials that exhibit ductile fracture are preferable for various reasons, so they are given below. So under the macroscopic view of ductile, the surfaces of the materials with the ductile fractures appears irregular and rough and exhibit some dimpling, but in almost all design situations, materials that exhibit ductile fractures are preferable for various reasons. Ductile materials elastically deform, slowing the fracture process and allowing more time to correct problems. So, ductile materials are elastic deform. They exhibit elastic property, showing the fracture process, slowing the fracture process. And that means which does not shows crack propagation and allowing more time to correct problems. Then second one, higher amounts of energy strain are required to deform a ductile material. So ductile materials are forgiving and any error in the design process does not immediately result in a catastrophic failure. So now let us discuss about brittle fracture. Just this is the diagram that indicates a brittle fracture. Brittle fracture means fracture of materials without plastic deformation or with very small plastic deformation before fracture. Say rock, concrete, glass and cast iron all have such a property. So they are called brittle materials. Ductile fracture means fracture of materials with a large plastic deformation before fracture. So that is the difference between brittle fracture and ductile fracture. Where brittle fracture means fracture of materials without plastic deformation or with a very small plastic deformation before fracture. So the brittle fracture which occur in case of rock. So that means in this case the rate of crack propagation is more. That means which occur in case of concrete. What about the lines which are formed in the concrete? That means they are called cracks due to brittle fracture. Then the cracks which occur in the glass and the cracks which occur in cast iron. So they are the good examples for brittle fractures. The brittle fracture of normally ductile steels occur primarily in a large continuous box-like structures such as box beams, pressure vessels, tanks, pipes, ships, bridges, other restrained structures. So usually the brittle structure which occur. So in case of box beams, what we seen the beams in the building construction, where the cracks which occur, so due to brittle fracture. So what about the cracks which occur in the pressure vessels? Then the fracture occur in tanks. Then the fracture which occur in the cement tank, cement pipes. Then the cracks which occur in ships. Then the cracks which occur in the big bridges. Then other restrained structures. So brittle fractures that occur in service are invariable initiated by defects that are initially present in the manufactured product or fabricated structure or by defects that develop during service. A brittle fracture is a breakage or cracking of a material into discernible parts. from which no deformation can be identified. That means there is a clean break of the material which breaks up into two or more parts. It is characterized by rapid crack propagation with a low energy release and without significant plastic deformation. The fracture may have a bright granular appearance. The fractures are generally of the flat type and chevron patterns may be present. So in brittle crystalline materials, fractures can occur by cleavage as a result of tensile stress acting normal to the crystallographic planes with a low bonding, say cleavage planes. Similar in case of amorphous solids, by contrast, the lack of a crystalline structure results in a conchoidal fracture. So with the cracks proceeding normal to the applied tension. So that means the brittle fracture which occur in various situations in various materials. In a brittle fracture, cracks run close to perpendicular to the applied stress. So that means the crack propagation is perpendicular to the applied stress or applied load, the direction of applied load. This perpendicular fracture leaves a relatively but surface of the break. So besides having a nearly flat fracture surface, so brittle materials usually contain a pattern on their fracture surfaces. Then some brittle materials have lines and ridges beginning at the origin of the crack and spreading out across the crack surface. So since there is very little plastic deformation before failure occurs, in most cases this is the worst type of fracture because the visible damage cannot be repaired in the parts or a structure before it breaks. So that means the breaks which occur in different materials in different situations. So brittle fractures display either transgranular or intergranular fracture. This depends upon whether the grain boundaries are stronger or weaker than the grains. Then what is transgranular fracture and intergranular fracture? Here the transgranular fracture means the fracture travels through the grain of the materials, cracks to the path of least resistance. So just as the meaning of that sentence, transgranular fracture. So that means the fracture travels through the grain of the materials, but the cracks which choose the path of least resistance. Then what about intergranular fracture? The crack travels along the grain boundaries and not through the actual grains. This usually occurs when the phase in the grain boundary is weak and brittle. So called, these are the different types of fractures. So now let us discuss about Griffith theory. Sir, the Griffith has furnished a criterion for the propagation of pre-existing crack in the brittle material, so like a glass, according to which a brittle surface occurred when the energy released rate during crack growth exceeded the rate than the rate at which energy was required. All the metals are not ideally brittle and normally fails with a certain amount of plastic deformation. If the material in which crack is propagating can deform plastically, the crack tip from changes because of plastic strain, a sharp crack tip will be blunted. Also, plastic deformation requires time, so the amount of plastic deformation that can occur at the crack tip will depend on a rate of advancement of the crack. Irwin and Orwan so suggested that Griffith criterion can be applied to a brittle material undergone plastic deformation before fracture. So then what about the limitations of Griffith theory? Some of the limitations of Griffith theory, so they are given in this slide. It cannot explain well the fracture mechanism if the crack in the material is spheroidal. It is justified for completely brittle materials only. Then it does not consider the plastic deformation in the vicinity of the crack. So it cannot explain well the fracture mechanism if the crack in the material is spheroidal, where Griffith theory which explained well, which is justified for completely brittle materials only. Then the Griffith theory which does not consider the plastic deformation in the vicinity of the crack. So the methods of protection against fracture by surface treatment, example, and sizing, etc., etching and sizing, etc. Etching of a glass is hydrofluoric acid removes the surface cracks and thus improves the strength of glass. This is one of the methods to protect against fracture. Introduction of compressive stress on the surface of a material makes the surface cracks ineffective. Flexiglass, windscreen of auto vehicles and tempered glasses require a higher tensile stress to initiate crack propagation, as the tensile stress has to overcome the introduced compressive stress. So then third one, the tempering process of heat treatment produces compressive stress in the sodium cations are replaced by potassium anions on the surface of sodium silicate glass. Then a fine grain control is developed to obtain finer grain sizes in glass and ceramics. The surface cracks are minimized due to fine grains and hence the fracture strength improves. So ductile brittle transition, ductile brittle transition. So ductile brittle transition is a limiting state between ductile and brittle behavior of a material. This transition between ductile and brittle behavior is defined by a temperature called ductile brittle transition temperature. So TDB. A ductile material shows brittle nature below this temperature, whereas the brittle material possesses a ductile nature above this temperature. So that is what about. So a ductile material which shows brittle nature below this temperature, whereas a brittle material which possesses ductile nature above this temperature, so called ductile brittle transition. Conditions are responsible for brittle fracture of ductile materials. A low or a decreasing temperature, high rate of straining, large grain size of material, high stress concentration, rough surface conditions, and triaxial stress conditions. So factors affecting the transition temperature. Fine grained material possesses lower transition temperature than the coarse grained materials. So first factor which affecting the transition temperature. Then the second one, transition temperature is raised due to a stress concentration such as on sharp notches. Then the third factor, effect of higher straining rate is to cause increased transition temperature. Most of the ductile BCC metals behave as brittle materials at a low temperature and at a very high temperature, high rate of straining. Whereas many FCC metals behave as a ductile materials at very low temperatures. So that means the factors which are affecting transition temperature. Next one. It is because a higher yield stress sigma y is required to move dislocations in BCC metals than FCC metals. What we know, that's the in case of crystal structures, so BCC and FCC, all those things. The sigma y, that means the stress increases rapidly when the temperature lowers down, but this is not the case with the stress required to propagate a crack, sigma y. Then a steel structure such as oil rigs, ships and bridges are generally fail in winter than in summer due to ductile brittle transition effect. So what we know that in case of steel structures such as oil rigs and then ships and bridges, so they are generally fail in winter than in summer due to ductile brittle transition temperature. So that means that is due to a ductile brittle transition effect. Ductile to brittle transition temperature for metals is around 0.1 to 0.2 Tm, while for ceramics is 0.5 to 0.7 transition where Tm, that means Tm is melting temperature. If the surface energy per unit area is Ys, then the surface energy for a crack of length 2c and a unit width will be Un. That's not Ys, Us. Us is equal to, Us is equal to 4 Ys into c. So if the surface area, let Us be the surface area, surface energy, Us be the surface energy per unit area, that means Ys, then the surface energy for a crack of length 2c and unit width will be Us, which is equal to 4 Ysc. Change in surface energy must be equal to change in elastic strain energy. So got 2 sigma square pi c by E, which is equal to 4 gamma s. Sigma square is equal to 4 E gamma s by 2 pi c. Then sigma is equal to root of 4 E gamma s by 2 pi c. So here are the diagrams. Just as the stress versus strain diagram. Then what happens? The cracks in different materials. So where stress versus strain graph is vertically straight in case of brittle material. So a fracture which occur fastly, But in case of ductile materials, there must be slow propagation. So that means there must be slow fracture. So that means the graph which indicates that how the cracks, that means the stress and strain, they varies in case of ductile material, in case of brittle material. So just you see the right side diagram where how the cracks which propagates. That means the diagram which indicates crack propagation. So gradually the crack propagation increases. Then the third diagram that indicates that fracture which occur in the metal. So how the crack which propagates. Then now let us discuss about what about the differences between ductile fracture and brittle fracture. Material fractures after plastic deformation and slow propagation of crack. In case of brittle fracture, that means material fracture with very little or no plastic deformation. Then in case of ductile fracture, surface obtained at the fracture is dull or fibrous in appearance. Whereas in case of brittle fracture, surface obtained at the fracture is shining and crystalline in appearance. Surface, what about the cracks which are obtained at the fracture is dull in appearance in case of ductile fracture. That means the cracks which occur in the brittle surfaces, they are shining and crystalline appearance. A ductile fracture, it occurs when the material is in plastic condition. Brittle fracture, it occurs when the material is in elastic condition. It is characterized by the formation of cup and cone. So that means ductile fracture. Where a brittle fracture, it is characterized by the separation of normal to tensile stress. The next one, the tendency of ductile fracture is increased by dislocations and other defects in materials or metals. So then the brittle materials, the tendency of brittle fracture is increased by decreasing temperature and increasing strain rate. In case of ductile fracture, there is a reduction in cross-sectional area of the specimen. In case of brittle fracture, there is no change in the cross-sectional area. So these are some of the differences between ductile fracture and brittle fracture. So in this class we discussed about the mechanical properties of the materials, the list of mechanical properties, why we need for the study of mechanical properties of materials, and then fracture, how the fracture occur, the definition of fracture, different types of fracture, ductile fracture, how and where the ductile fracture which can be appeared, then a brittle fracture, where the brittle fracture and when it occur, how the ductile fracture which can be protected, then how the brittle fracture can be protected, what are the factors which are affecting both ductile fracture and brittle fractures, and some of the examples for brittle and ductile fractures, the graphical representation of variation of stress and strain in case of brittle structure, brittle fracture, brittle materials, and also in case of ductile materials, and so on. Thank you.